everyone, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the House of Ezra. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and welcome back to another video in the series of 5 I'm doing about being a newbie fountain pen lover. And today's video is the top 5 must-haves. These are going to be in no particular order. They're just the 5 things, and I actually have some honourable mentions as well. So the first one, and this might sound like a joke, but it's not meant to be, is a fountain pen. Now bear with me. I don't mean one like this. I mean one like this. This is a platinum preppy. Costs $8 in Australia, so I'm guessing that's like $5 or $6 in America, if not a bit cheaper. It's disposable, but you can hack it and reuse it. But most importantly, it is super easy to use straight out of the packaging. It's going to write beautifully. It's amazing how well it writes. But as you're getting to know fountain pens, you don't want to go for a super expensive one. You don't want to go for some funky nibs and grinds. Just dip your toes in. If you dip your toes in with this and you actually decide, you know what, this isn't for me, well, then you haven't wasted a whole bunch of money. But if you do it and you go, oh, this is amazing, I believe that this is a pen that could help you get you there. Of all the starter pens, I think this one's incredible. But also, if you were to drop it, if you were not to, treat it with the care that fountain pens need, it's not going to break the bank. And I think that's important because we all make mistakes as we enter new hobbies and learn things. So I would make a mistake on something that costs $8, not something that costs $80 or, $800, because there are pens out there for that and more. So you can see it's jumping in and out of focus there. I think it's because I'm doing this. My number one, or not number one, but my first recommendation is you need a pen. The next thing I'm going to recommend are instead of ink bottles, getting ink samples. Most places now that sell fountain pens and accessories and inks will do ink samples. This is an example I have from the Desk Bandit. This is a 2 ml sample. Depending on how much you fill your pens, you can usually get 2 fills out of this. I actually find when you're starting out with pens, I put less ink in because you're wanting to experience different inks. This is a great way to discover what inks you like, what you don't like, maybe go out of your comfort zone without committing to a whole bottle. Because, you'll see, watch any YouTube video, people have bottles upon bottles of ink that they're never going to finish. This is a great way to really experience the breadth of all the inks that are out there. The third must-have, it's actually 2 things, but it's related to this, and that is a sample holder. Now, I'm sure there are like proper ones you can get, but from Daiso, you can get a toothbrush holder for $2. Fits in perfectly. I'll show you. I've got ones that are different bottles. Let's see, I've got another one in here that looks like a different bottle. They all fit perfectly, which means as you're going to fill your pen, it's stable. I also have seen people use the toothbrush holders that are like the square that's got a circle cutout in the middle. It's like a ceramic. These are a lifesaver when you're worried about spilling ink, and it's $2. It's incredible. This travels with my inks, it sits with my inks. It goes every time I'm wanting to swatch or anything, I'm grabbing this. I never now do anything with a sample vial unless it's in here, because I don't want to spill ink everywhere, and I think that is just great. So that is my number 3 recommendation. I've got some honourable mentions in this video as well, and I guess the honourable mention that kind of goes with that is a syringe. I don't know what this is called, a blunt tip needle point something. There's lots of ways you can fill pens. One thing about the sample vials is if you're needing to do like the pen in or the little twisty of the converter, it's hard to get it all the way in. This just takes all the mess and fuss out of it, and then it's super easy to clean. These are actually helpful to clean pens as well. So, you can pick these up really cheap, like nothing. What's good about this point is it's actually not sharp as well. So, I keep this out of my kids' reach, but, just in case, it's not something that can harm other people as well, but it makes putting ink into converters and cartridges a lot easier. It makes cleaning pens, cartridges, converters a lot easier as well. So that is the honourable mention that goes alongside the sample holder. Number 4. This might sound a bit weird, but it's some sort of log or notes. Now, I remember when I first started looking into fountain pens and watching people's videos and people going, the pen's a wet writer and the pen's bouncy and the ink's dry and this and that. And I was like, surely a pen's a pen and ink's ink. Could not be further from the truth. Different pens and different inks react or work or don't work together differently. I can have, the first ink I put in this pen was Diamine Damson. Didn't like the pairing together. I then put Diamine Oxblood in this, and it's incredible. I've since put Diamine Damson in another pen and had a completely different experience. You'll hear people talk about finding like the perfect pair, and my suggestion is to just have somewhere where you can jot that down. When you find something that works and when you find something that doesn't work, you don't need a full ink journal. You can have it if you want, but just somewhere where you can go, yep, TWSBI Eco, Diamine Oxblood, perfect pair, wet writer lays down a really beautiful amount of ink. Because then when you're looking, if you do really get into the hobby and you're looking to re-ink and all of that, you've got something to look back on and remember what worked and what didn't. And I know that inks are liquid, but it is true. Some of them are really dry and some of them are wet, and pens are the same. So might seem a bit strange, but I actually think that will be really helpful, and it'll stop you from wasting ink or inking up a pen, not remembering that you didn't like the pairing last time, and so then the pen just sits there unused. Just keeping some basic notes will really help you cultivate the pairings and the inks and the pens that you love and that work for you. My final honourable mention before I go into my last must-have is you'll see on YouTube a lot of people have chromatography paper, and the idea, and people who are much more sciencey and smart than me, please correct me in the comments, because I'm going to give the simple version, not the scientific version. But chromatography is, I guess, the act or the science of using water to separate the components of colour within an ink. And you'll see people get these chromatography strips, and you have to put the ink there and then the water in a certain way, and it the water kind of runs up the strip and it breaks out the colour. Something that's really cool is that Scott towels or paper towels do it as well. And this is not a need by any means, but you're going to be cleaning your pens and whatever else anyway. I think that's so cool. And I did this as on purpose, this one as an example. This is Robert Oster Gold Antiqua, and the reason I've put it in as an honourable mention must-have is as I clean my pens and see the different inks, this actually helps me learn about them, because I use that ink and I go, oh my God, there's green, there's gold, there's red, there's brown. And then I've done this and go, well, you know what? There's green, there's yellow, there's red, there's brown, there's blue. It has actually helped me go, yes, that is why I'm seeing the different things. That's why it looks different on this paper versus this one. And you don't need to get anything extra to do this. You've got the pen, you're cleaning it, so you've got the water, and you've got the paper towel as part of your cleaning regime. Just take note of it before you chuck them out. Have a look. I think that is quite something. I don't know why paper towels do it, but they do. So lastly, and this is going to be corny and sentimental, the last must-have is the incredible fountain pen community. The fountain pen community on social media is one of the most generous, caring, and kind communities I've met. Generous in knowledge, generous in, I just did an ink swap with someone and I've got samples filled to the brim. Generous in time, in answering questions and participating in things. People, they're like-minded, they understand. You know, it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't get it with fountain pens why you've fallen in love with it. But there is a community out there of people who do get it, and they're more than happy to talk to you if you're trying to fix something or restore something, or even, you know, you're rifling through your dad's study and find a fountain pen and you want to understand it. There's someone in the community that will absolutely take the time to help you understand that pen or that ink or that problem. I've got obviously my House of Ezra Instagram and YouTube. In my personal life, I deleted Facebook years ago. I didn't like the experience, and I was really happy with that decision. I actually made a House of Ezra Facebook group. I don't have any friends, but I've joined a couple of fountain pen groups, and they're incredible. It's like it's a completely different app. I don't have any of that, like all the reasons I left Facebook for in my personal life are not there. And, you know, I'm in Australia, so I've joined Australian specific and also some more general ones, but there's so many broader fountain pen groups and then niche ones for all around the world. Reddit has a pretty vibrant fountain pen community as well, and of course Instagram. So as you're learning, as you're dipping your toe into this incredible world of fountain pens, don't be shy, come and say hi. I didn't mean to rhyme then, sorry, that's lame. I was, I guess what you call a lurker long before. I never felt confident to comment or ask questions, and now that I have, it just feels great, and I'm learning. And I was able to find a Grail pen secondhand and purchase it off someone. And I love that not only I was able to get that pen, but I was able to rehome a pen that someone else loved. There is just so much out there. So that is my 5th of the top 5. So get yourself a disposable or cheap pen. Go samples over bottles, the sample holder and the syringe. Keep some details of what's working for you and what not, and come and say hi. That's it for my top 5 must-haves for newbie fountain pen lovers. Would love to know what you guys think, and if you are thinking about it and you're wanting to reach out, comment below. I can be your first step into the community. Would love to say hi and have a chat. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.